Congresswoman and House Impeachment Manager Laurel Lee. Congresswoman, thank you so much for joining us. Look, it's quite clear to anyone paying attention that Chuck Schumer has no interest in securing the border, that the Democratic Party would rather try to pin the blame on the elephant than take accountability for the fact that Joe Biden arrived at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue under a mission accomplished banner and then proceeded to undo every single border policy put in place by President Trump that led to us having what is now complete anarchy on that southern border.
Well, that's right. And it is important that any conversation about the border starts just right there, because that's the reality. We had border policies with President Trump that were working. We had Remain in Mexico. We were using our asylum laws in the way they were meant to be used. And we were building that physical barrier. We were building a wall that we've heard over and over again from Border Patrol agents that they need. From day one, Joe Biden put a stop to those policies. He started dismantling the good work that was being done, and he absolutely created the catastrophe that we're in right now. So the fact that the Biden administration is now actually looking to Republicans and trying to push blame on us is completely ludicrous. Here's the reality. We have laws on the books right now that say they have an obligation to detain and deport people that enter this country unlawfully. He has the ability to go back right now to the policies of the Trump administration that we know were working and were keeping our country safe, and is willfully refusing to do them. And we know this because House Republicans have spent the last year painstakingly and very systematically investigating the actions, the inactions, and the decisions of Alejandro Mayorkas and his Department of Homeland Security that have led us to this day. And the conclusion of that investigation overwhelmingly is that he has absolutely subverted the laws of the United States of America and breached the public trust. And that's what led us to the vote to go ahead with articles of impeachment.
Well, look, to that point, obviously, I think most people would agree that the border has become undone on Joe Biden's watch, specifically to meeting the threshold for high crimes and misdemeanors as it relates to Alejandro Mayorkas. Certainly, he's gotten on television and told people that he does not want to have the border secure out of the left side of his mouth, while the right side of his mouth pretending to do his job. He's gone and told foreign nations that he is disappointed that the border has been closed and that somehow he is optimistic it will be open once again. So when you have all those comments in the context of 10 million migrant encounters, in the context of over 20,000 Chinese nationals coming across the border compared to where we were prior to all of this, close to 300 per year, how do we get the American people and also the people in Congress to say this man has violated his oath to the United States of America?
Well, he certainly has. And it is so much more than a policy disagreement or even just incompetence. What we know is that Alejandro Mayorkas has deliberately subverted the laws that he directed his employees and his staff to engage in conduct, to engage in this absolute distortion of the parole process that has led to these millions of people coming in. We also know that he has directly defied court orders from federal court judges telling him your policies are unlawful, your policies violate the Constitution, and yet he persisted. And the other thing that he's done, is he's come to Congress over and over again, and he hasn't been truthful to Congress. He hasn't been truthful to the American people. He's actually said the border is secure and that he has operational control of the border. And all of America can look at what is happening in our country and know that that is absolutely false. So back to the very outset of this, we had policies that were working. Donald Trump knew what to do. He knew how to work with foreign leaders. He knew not only how to follow the right policies, but to enforce them and be taken seriously on the world stage. Joe Biden and Alejandro Mayorkas have deliberately undone that and have deliberately misled Congress and defied the courts. So this is one branch of government. This is one branch of government that's basically undermining the other two branches. It is an affront to our basic system of government and the Constitution.
Absolutely. I think specifically to that point, it is quite clear this is failure by design. While I have you, and before we go, quickly here, if you're trying to figure out how Republicans take back, the Senate in 2024, try to make sure we grow that majority in 2024. Prior to Election Day, it appears that we have this incredibly shrinking majority in the House, members leaving every other day. How do we get Republicans to circle the wagons and recognize that even if you give Hakeem Jeffries the gavel for just a day, the amount of chaos that will be unleashed on this country is unimaginable?
It is so important that we work together right now to keep our majority in the House, to win the Senate, and to put Donald Trump back in the White House. We need Republican control of both parts of Congress and the White House to be able to get back to work, to get these policies done, because you see, House Republicans have been doing the work. We've been doing the right things. We sent the strongest border bill in a generation over to the Senate last year, and they did nothing with it. And that is going to continue to be the reality until Republicans come together. What I think that we need to do is recognize how serious this is, how much the American people need for us to come together, to work together as Republicans, to keep our majority in the House and to make sure that we're building it other places so that we can actually enact and get signed into law the policies that we need. So all of us up and down the ballot right now need to be working together to get that done.
Absolutely. A republic, if we can keep it. Congresswoman Lee, as always, God bless you. We'll talk to you again soon.